Clara lived in a small town surrounded by mountains, where the night sky looked like a painting filled with bright stars. It was her favorite pastime to sit in her backyard every night, just looking at that sparkling sky. Her mother would always say, "Clara, just like these stars, you also have a light inside you." Clara didn't quite understand what her mother meant, but she always kept those words in her heart. At school, Clara was known for being friendly and attentive to everyone, always ready to help. But one day, she noticed something that bothered her: a boy named Pedro, who was always alone. During recess, while the children ran and played, Pedro would sit in a corner, staring at the ground. Clara would see him there, but she had never stopped to think why he was always so distant. That afternoon, Clara decided to talk to her mother about what she had seen. "Mom, why is Pedro always alone during recess? I never see him playing with anyone." Her mother, with a loving look, replied, "Sometimes, Clara, people feel lonely inside. Maybe he's waiting for someone to see the star that shines inside him. Maybe you can be that person." Clara thought about this. The next morning, during recess, she gathered her courage and approached Pedro. "Hi, Pedro. I'm Clara. Do you want to play with us?" Pedro looked up, surprised. "Play? With you?" He seemed suspicious. Clara just smiled and waited. "I don't know. I never play with anyone. I guess I'm not very good at these things," he murmured, looking at his feet. Clara felt her heart tighten. She remembered a time when she felt the same way. "You know, Pedro, my mother told me something really beautiful. She said that inside each of us, a star shines. Sometimes, we just need someone to help us see that light." Pedro, curious, looked up. "A star inside me? I don't know if I believe that." "Of course I do," Clara replied excitedly. "We all have one. And I think your star is in there, just waiting to shine. You just need a little push." Peter was silent for a moment, thinking. He had never heard anything so kind before. Clara took him by the hand and led him to the group of children who were playing tag. At first, Peter was nervous, but soon realized that he was having fun. The other children welcomed him into the game, and for the first time in a long time, he laughed as he ran with his new friends. In the following days, Clara always invited Peter to play. Little by little, Peter began to loosen up. He began to smile more and discovered that, despite his shyness, he had a special talent for ball games. When one of the children had difficulty, he would go over and patiently help. Soon, everyone at recess began to like Peter, not only for his skill, but for his kindness and willingness to help others. One day, after recess, Pedro approached Clara, with a different smile on his face. "Clara, do you know what you told me about the star? Now I understand. When you called me to play, I started to feel this light shine inside me. And now, when I help the other children, it seems like my star shines even brighter." Clara smiled proudly. "That's right, Pedro. The more we help and care about others, the brighter our star shines. And do you know what's even more amazing? The light from your star also lights up the lives of the people around you." As time went by, Pedro became one of the most beloved children at school. He always had a word of encouragement or a kind gesture to share. The other children admired him, and every day he demonstrated that true strength comes from kindness and empathy. One night, Clara, looking up at the stars in the sky, thought about Pedro and how much he had changed. She realized that her mother was right. We all have a light inside us, waiting to shine. And sometimes, all we need is someone to show us how to turn it on. Moral of the story: empathy is like a star that shines within us. When we put ourselves in someone else's shoes and act with kindness, our light grows and illuminates the world around us. Small acts of empathy can transform lives and make more stars shine around us. Did you like the story? Then subscribe to the channel and leave your like. That way, you will be able to follow more stories that teach important values and entertain at the same time. Until the next adventure.